Welcome back, everybody, to Unite Mike's VOD review series. This week, we are going to be tackling OCE. That's right, the Australian New Zealand region. My name is Zoinks, and I am joined by two incredibly intelligent casters, and also going to be joining me on the world stage for casting the Pokemon Unite World Championships. I got doobsnax and Kelo here to break everything down. What's up, doobsnax? Huge shout out, the face reveal. Finally, we have doobsnax back on camera, trapped in a white prison of emotion. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Excited to kind of have my setup trending in the right direction here. Got the room set up going, as I mentioned before, with the asylum chic look for now until I get some stuff on the walls. But,
cool.
In due time, one step at a time.
Yeah, you sound great too. So audio already sorted. We're good on that front. Next just be visual. We're good. And then of course we have Kelo, not joining the channel for the first time. We've had you on the Overdunk podcast before, but the first time in this VOD review series. So what's up, Kelo? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, of course. Yeah, your first time through was obviously an audition, but you nailed it. You did so well. So now we're going to have you back a second time to watch what I think is a pretty exciting region in OCE. And obviously, you are from down under, Kelo. You, you put on a lot of the broadcasts for this series. Not the specific one we're going to watch, but you were on this broadcast. But you have been following this scene for quite a long time. So can you give doobsnax and I and everybody watching here just a quick little intro to the OCE region as a whole? Just a general, like, what does the scene, what's the scene kind of like? You can, if you want to go into the meta, you can, but I'm sure we'll see it on camera here in a little bit too. But yeah, what's going on in OCE this year?
I guess OC or OCE because we lost our E.
Oh, that's right. Press F to pay respects to the E.
Yes, definitely. I'd say it's probably one of the smallest. I think it is the smallest region that is participating in the UCS. So a little fun fact that I actually did find out of all of the monthly tournaments that we had, including AOS and regionals, we had less than 20 teams sign up. So in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to all of the other regions, it is quite tiny.
Sure.
I guess just having that smaller player base and everything like that. One of my favorite sayings is, we are small, but we are mighty. So I'm really hoping that the two teams that have qualified or got invited to Worlds will be able to demonstrate that. Yeah, but otherwise, overall, as a region, I feel like because we are so small, we do kind of draw bits and pieces from a lot of the other regions. I know, obviously, queuing in and ranked games, it's very difficult to actually find matches, especially when you're 5-stacking. So I feel like a lot of our players actually end up playing in overseas servers. And I guess that's probably why I think we draw a lot from a lot of different regions and kind of like take the best parts of whatever works out for us and, build out our own team compositions out that way. But I feel like while they're similar and everything, I think there's teams that, obviously make it their own. And yeah, it's it's a whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Small but mighty is a good way to describe the region. I think that's a cool spot to start talking about them. But the two teams that have been invited to World Championships this year are, of course, Exo Clan and then iClan, going to be the returning team from last year's World Championships. doobsnax, I know you're obviously a big fan of one of those rosters. Nobody will be able to guess which. But Kelo, is there anything you can tell me about Exo Clan before we jump into them? Like, kind of their history this year? Have they been like really good, well performing all season long? Was regional finals like a big spike for them? What's the kind of the story of Exo in season 2?
I'd say Exo Clan, they're probably the most consistent this year, coming first and second in all of the monthly tournaments. So I guess a little bit of a background to Exo Clan. They are only a newer team this year. They have been playing since the very beginning, so February all the way through to the regionals. Some of them, however, do have previous experience from last year's UCS. So Bemco and Buster, they were actually part of 1620 Kings. So they're the ones that did come second in last year's regionals. You have Challenged, who was part of Ground Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Ground Zero. A little represent there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll put the branding on the screen. We'll get you paid. Don't worry. No free shout-outs. We expect a paycheck in the mail, Kello. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so Challenge being part of Ground Zero last year, they ended up coming third.
Mhm.
So I guess just, these high caliber players. Then you have Jeb, who fun fact, only played one tournament last year, which was part of Team FYB. And Ethos is actually the new kid on the block,
Okay.
I'd say. So he didn't participate last year. This is his first UCS ever. So, I mean, he's definitely one to keep an eye out on. I'd say
Cool.
he's definitely super duper talented. I know he pops off quite a fair bit during the regional finals. He ended up getting two 5 KO streaks
Oh.
during the grand finals, and they were such hype moments. I think out of like the whole regionals, I think he was the only one that actually ended up getting the 5 KO. So yeah,
Sick.
that was pretty cool. Also, we have to mention, while there are these players, we have to mention the coach, Owen Beagle.
Sure,
So
yeah.
somebody you're probably really familiar with from last year being part of Team Gap.
Mhm.
I know he did play earlier on in the season. He was part of Juicy Bulbs, who then ended up going and being Team Gap again after they had some roster changes and everything. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to progress and play any further. So he ended up getting picked up as a coach by EXO. So yeah,
Cool.
but obviously they're not the ones that actually won the regionals.
True.
They
True.
ended up getting invited because, as I said, they were the most consistent. So
Mhm.
they did have the most championship points racked up.
Right.
So
Which,
yeah.
hey, a benefit from this year's seasonal change. Doobsnax, any thoughts you want to give towards the OCE region before we actually start watching this winner's finals game?
No, I think
Sick.
it was mentioned in chat, but I mean they've had a tough draw into this pool play here. So
Uh-huh.
you mentioned they're going to be ready. I think they really have to be, because they've got an absolute slaughterhouse waiting for them.
Yeah, that is wait, do we have any Dooby Snacks chat? Just off Gem Jars. Yeah, I'm glad you have leaned into the Scooby Duo that we all like to employ for sure. Yes, it is a tough spot for the OCE regions. Obviously, Iclin in what a lot of people consider to be the group of death in Group C, and then EXO in a Group B as well, which is, I mean, Doosenex, you and I both said online about how powerful we thought those groups were. So, yeah, it's a tough draw for sure. Okay, a Delphox banned by Legends reappear. Kello, who's the Delphox main on EXO that requires a ban? Oh, I think the names
it
are
would be
flipped.
LDR.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly, right?
they would have banned the Delphox because of Zavi.
Okay, got
So
it.
Zavi is just out of this world on that Delphox. So a little bit of a respect ban there, you could say. I think this is what I was saying. It's really similar in that sense to other regions. Slow bro. Nobody wants to deal with the bro. And I think we're probably going to end up seeing that a lot once again at Worlds.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
That makes sense to me. I mean, Slowbro ban into Lapra's first pick, I think, is a pretty textbook draft, especially at this time in the meta. I mean, we're finally covering a TPC Iran region again, Deuce Next, so it feels like forever since we've done one of these. So no Umbreon, no Chandelier, I think, at this point? Or was it allowed?
No, the
Chandelier
was allowed.
Was
Yeah.
it? Okay. I don't remember it being available at EUIC, but maybe I was wrong. Okay, interesting. Oh, not EUIC, sorry, but EU regionals, but...
Yeah, it was. Remember, because
that's
in the NA region we had Curious that was absolutely going banana lands on it.
That's true. Curious was going nuts with it. It was like permabanned on the GT every game. I do remember this. Okay. Eagles plays Machamp. Okay, very cool. So we have what seems to me like a melee brawler bot lane somewhere for the side of ExoClan. Is that what I'm looking at here, Kello?
To be honest, I can't even remember this game.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
There were that many during the day. It's all kind of just muddled up together in one big ball.
everything happened. I'm so sorry, everybody. We'll get it back to where I had it a second ago. I double clicked the screen and then YouTube decided to change everything. All right, we're back in it, I think. Okay, there we go. All right. So we'll take a look. Yeah, Exa with a really interesting draft. I mean, challenge on Sylveon seems to be pretty straightforward. You're playing into double defenders, special defense shred on so many of that Pokemon's moves. Seems really, really good. Hoopa Snorlax, I think, is a really, really solid combination. I like that quite a bit. Exo, really, really nice draft so far in this game, except the only thing they're missing is, ranged attacks. That is tough.
It just seems like they're going to get ranged and changed by that Decidueye a little bit. So have to develop a pretty good strategy to get in the face of it.
Yeah, that's true. And a Decidueye with a double tank front line, right? Like, that makes it so difficult. So yeah, they're running Urshifu bot lane and then giving it blue buff and allowing Sylveon to take red buff. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Will they hit? Oh, and they're getting both ball toys too. So it'll probably get 5 off of a little bit of lane farm before it gets to that 850 mark. Interesting. That's a strategy I don't think I've ever seen yet. Like, split jungle with Cubfu only taking half. I don't know, doobsnax, if you've seen that or either, but or Kelo, if this is a mark of what XL likes to do. But yeah, it's kind of surprising.
I think it's just making sure that Sylveon gets online. And I mean, you can see why it went and invaded the Rowlet, which, to be honest, against Mystical Fire, Sylveon can't really do much.
Yeah. No, it's really good idea, too. I mean, like, what are you worried about? Like, Squirtle's not going to be able to come and help whatsoever. Eldegoss maybe could kind of, like, come and slow you down. But, like, if you let Bot Path go insane, like, then they have an Urshifu to deal with. That's, like, a really good play call to invade, I think, there by Challenge. I like that a lot.
I think normally for me, I think when watching this game, it was a little bit unusual. Actually seeing the Sylveon go and invade, it's not something that you see on the regular. Usually you'll have like, your supporters or your defenders, like a Snorlax with experience share, or even what do you call it, a Hooper going in invading, or something like that, or Sableye.
Right.
But to see Mystical Fire Sylveon, I think that's probably one of the first. I don't know if any of the other regions have tried to use that strategy before or anything. But
yeah, I think we see it in EU every once in a while when a Mystical Fire Sylveon like actually gets drafted, which isn't like too far. I know Adestu's kind of done this strategy every now and then, but it's a really, 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 really cool start. Obviously, X is dominating the early game because of it. I mean, you're going into like a couple of tri-evolutions, right? Blastoise and Decidueye are both getting kind of hurt by this early game, and I mean, it's already popping off. That's a really well-coordinated flank by XO right there in the start of this game. How much? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, doobsnax.
They're giving a lot of credit to Jeb here, who just has to sit in the bottom path. I know the Urshifu peel back down there, but was that Ethos on the Urshifu? But they're just sitting there having to hang out and allow those 4 players to collapse in the middle and make that magic happen. So I mean, definitely working a strategy here. Keep the Decidueye from getting online, and then you don't have to deal with the range because you've got it in every other axis.
Yeah, you just keep invading. I like that quite a bit. How much do you two think that we're going to see invades at Worlds? Do you think it's going to be like few and far between? Do you think we're going to see it like employed by a lot of teams? Like, what are you thinking?
I don't think it's for everyone. I feel like there's definitely certain teams and certain players that can pull it off and actually do it well. I mean, I always love seeing a little bit of an invade. It's just that early game, if they can get that advantage, it's huge. And you can just see, like, obviously, I guess are these teams like switched around? Oh, it is. Okay, so Orange is actually EXO. I just realized.
Yeah, that's why I was confused by a draft, because they had it wrong there too. But I was following it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
They'll flip it around. Sure.
I guess with EXO, they just went in just super aggressive at the beginning. And I mean, it makes sense having those, 2 late scalers. You want to just shut them down. And they've managed to successfully do that, this far already. But it's just, keeping up the momentum. We obviously know there's so many different, comeback mechanics and everything that anything can happen, even though it's only 10 minutes. But yeah. I don't know. I think we probably see some invades. Oh, I hope we see some invades.
Yeah, I definitely do. I think a lot of game 2s of best of 3 sets are going to have them. Like, one team is going to dominate in game number 1, and then they're going to be like, okay, and now game 2, we take everything. I think that'll kind of be what's happening. But nice response here by Legends. I mean, they have hit all their evolutions, so now they can click their Unite buttons, and it's working out pretty well so far. They got a Regieleki hitting all the way into tier 2, and I mean, this is the problem trouble with Exo's cleanse comp, right? Like all your front line is just a Snorlax. Like Machamp's bulky, but they can only take so much damage, especially when they're getting stunned by Blastoise and Lapras just on cooldown. That's really tough to deal with.
It almost seems every game I've watched in OC from this event was Legends reappear having problems, and then a massive grief moment from their opponent, and Legends reappear just hits their stride in that moment, right? Like somebody cracks open a door just to make sure Legends reappear is still on the doorstep, and then they just tear into the house. It's like, man, like ExoClan just completely overextending their welcome. They had a massive lead. They get absolutely buckled. Unite moves strike right on time, and then Legends reappear, just sieged 2 goal zones and absolutely like got right back into this game, and in fact took a hair of a lead. And that seemed to be over and over and over again. Like, I don't know how nobody learned their lesson with this team. Legends reappear will not be put down.
Yeah, that is a spot to be for sure. I mean, you can't give him any ground.
I feel like that was just a whole summary of the regionals. It's just backwards and forwards. You have one team that's, ahead, and then suddenly it's, reverse card flipped on over. I mean, even then I know, obviously there was the 9-match grand final set between these two teams. So we were just talking earlier, off cam, but saying that ExoClan and Legends reappeared during that day. They actually versed each other a total of 12 times.
Right.
So they versed each other the best of 3 in the winners final. And then for the grand final, it ended up going to the bracket reset, which was a total of 9 matches for the grand finals. So you had the 3 and then the 12. I can do maths. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, they certainly got their fill of each other for sure. I think playing that same matchup on repeat is a tough one to deal with. So you get Lapras United and Blastoise United at 3 minutes. So that's not terrible. It's kind of tough to get Blastoise Unite back at the very least, but your Urshifu Welt in the back. I mean, they really want this Regieleki, that's for sure.
This is kind of how Legends Reappear got it done last time.
I mean,
there you go.
I mean, EXO just kind of half committed like 2 or 3 times, like 2 players commit, they get 1 knockout, but then the rest of Legends just kind of sits out to the side and waits for the knockout. Yeah, it's a tough spot for EXO to be, like, just not very coordinated at 3 minutes. That's a little scary. Obviously, they just don't want Regieleki going towards their base. Like, that makes sense to invest in it, but you just gotta at least be stacked up.
All right, and now the commitment that they have to try and get this thing done means that Legends Reappear can rip this Regirock. ExoClan's just trying to literally get vision right at this point, because they can't really go in and lose anybody here at the 2-minute 10 mark. I say that, and there we have a heavy slam with a Porto at least as a retreat option. But Legends Reappear looking pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I like the Snorlax heavy slam. It's a move that gets the damage buff against it. Hoopa's Portal actually doesn't. I was reading up on that again. Hoopa's like the only Pokemon that doesn't get that support defender a damage buff onto objectives, which is kind of funny. So, I guess one bad thing about that Pokemon.
Yeah, one of the few.
Exactly. Okay, so Legends, with that back cap, are playing pretty, like, not very aggressive. They have double tank, so you definitely think that they would want to engage first, especially since they're playing like Surfstoys. Like, you want to find out where they are and then push them. But I guess they don't want to get Machamp United. That's, I guess, what they're trying to avoid, right? You don't want to get pinched, because that's tough to deal with.
ExoClan's out in the lead because of the backcapping Sylveon here, and like you said, I mean, Legends just playing a little reserve. They actually chunked Jab huge on ExoClan, which means they actually had a good opportunity to follow up and find somebody.
I love that Machamp just hanging out in top has just created enough space for the Sylveon just to like backcap for free. Like, they're like, all right, well, we can't deal with that because we can't get Machamp United. That's like all that could happen.
All the way back to the goals, and there's the KO that they're looking for on Urshifu, going straight for the Hundo Burger, no problems.
Yeah, Mew unites to try to chase the Sylveon. Shell doing a really good job of kiting. Like, this is the amount of time they created is pretty great. However, now they have 2 members down, and one of them's Urshifu, which is hard. Champ unites 3 of them, but no, well, gets 1. But it's the Mew. You probably want the Decidueye there.
Still have the Rings Unbound. They just used it.
Oh
Pulling off
my
the
gosh,
timer, which means you have to
big Snorlax play. Oh my word, that was sick.
Yeah, that was huge, right? So you check the respawn timer, so you use yours. So as soon as Snorlax comes up, the portal's there to use. Big stun into the Snorlax Unite. Yeah, look good.
That was sick. Yeah, they had like a 3-player knockup on that Heavy Slam.
Or Heavy
Okay.
Slam, excuse me.
Yeah, well done.
Or did they use their Unite move into that? Am I blind?
I don't think they had it. Or at least they used it after the Heavy Slam I was thinking of.
Nope, definitely didn't have it.
Yeah. No, they just Hoopa portals and then Snorlax grabs all 3, or all 4 right
all
here,
4 of them,
and then blocks them. That's really cool. And Urshifu comes back
move.
and just punches real good. Love that. Boom. Yeah, good macro play by Exo.
Could you go back again just one more time?
Huh?
Go back.
More?
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to watch on when Urshifu's timer this Unite move is used. Okay, it's literally on 1.
Mm-hmm. And then he just boops and unites out of the Eldegoss and slams him. Very cool. Very cool. All right, Exo start 1-0 in the matchup. Thanks to some cool plays. Let's see some numbers. Big
Kelly,
numbers,
let me
folks.
ask you, as you're watching this, the winners finals, then the, losers finals, and then the grand finals ultimately, what was your heart telling you about what OC is doing? Because for everyone else, it seemed like a cartoonish roller coaster that we'd never get off of. Like, it was just, like you said, Uno reverse cards, win the game or draw 25, and then you see them with 25 cards in their hand, stuff like that. So what was it like being in that action? Because it was a ride, to say the least.
Oh, it definitely was. I think it was just not even knowing what was going to happen. You think, oh, one team's in the lead, they're gonna take it for sure, and then said suddenly, nope. It was, as you mentioned, it's just a roller coaster. Like obviously LDR, they did make quite a good comeback, and they had some really really great pushes there, but I think just those last minute efforts from EXO to get the sneaky back caps. Like I feel like it was either you flip the Ray or you end up just stalling for that whole final stretch and not even getting the Rayquaza or waiting until the very last minute. I feel like a lot of the matches that we had for that first minute, that 2 minute to the 1 minute mark, a lot of them was just circling around and actually trying to gauge when to engage.
Right.
Or there were ones where, obviously they're just like, nah, let's do it and flip it and, take the game and whatever. It was kind of just a whole bunch of different, I don't know, there wasn't really one clear cut I guess strategy that these teams used. They all kind of just, I guess, that's the whole point. You just play it by ear and go with the flow and try do whatever you think is best in that very moment.
That can be a strength too, right? Especially going into a worlds where we're looking at a brand new competitive meta. Like no official tournament, like official championship series tournament has been ran within this meta yet. So we're looking at kind of uncharted territory in a few spots. So being really reactionary and good in those ways can be cool. Okay, so they take away both the Hoopa Urshifu. So like I think Slowbro, Hoopa, Urshifu, and Lapras were kind of the holy quartet at this time. I think that was pretty much where all the draft priority was going. But Mew getting really high priority. No Candle. So yeah, very interesting. I personally like Mew a lot, but
Chandelure was mainly played by Iclen. I believe
okay.
Untamed was the one that picked up Shandy, but I don't think EXO or Legends. I think Zavi may have played one game of Chandelure.
Okay.
If I remember. I don't know. It's all a bit hazy. But
yeah.
Makes
sense.
I think they mainly stick to Decidueye. Or if it was actually let out, the Delphox. mainly. So,
Gotcha.
but I think Ethos, he plays so much. So he has yeah, quite a wide caliber of the Pokemon that he can play. So
cool.
obviously he picking up the Guardy. I know he played Decidueye, Zoroark. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Like mages and assassins. That's really cool.
yeah.
You don't see that in too many players. I mean, obviously we have some standouts, but I think that's a really cool metal in Ethos's cabinet, if you will, to be playing something like that. Basically both these comps going double defender again against each other, like double defender with one just like huge mage in the back, so Gardevoir on one side and then Decidueye on the other. Pretty similar drafts from both these teams. That's cool. Let's see how this next game goes. Kelo, when you
Rapid Spin Water Spout Turtle.
Oh yeah, so Exo's bringing the other Blastoise build.
I think so.
Yeah, like last time we saw LDR play Surfstoise, but this time see the Beyblade. It's here. Kelly, you were casting this one, right? Yeah, I think I saw you on camera just a second ago. Did you have like Exo's absolutely got this? Like, was that the mentality you had in your mind, or was this like this was anyone's game? In your opinion, before this event actually started, like what were the pre-match vibes looking like?
Honestly, I thought I did think EXO had it in the bag.
Really?
And I think
Okay.
that's probably what just surprised the region as a whole is Legends reappeared. They honestly they just surprised the heck out of us. I wouldn't have never imagined it. But I mean, looking at their past, I guess their past runs and everything, I think for majority of the tournaments, they did make top 8, but this was obviously the furthest that they came. I don't think out of all the monthly tournaments, they actually ended up making it into the grand finals at all.
Gotcha.
So I think I have it somewhere.
That bot path that Legends Reappear is fielding might be the most miserable bot path to ever play into. Wigglytuff Goodra? Are you kidding me? That sounds awful. Just an unKOable, slowing. You have to deal with what's it called? The cute charm and sleep. Like there's so much pain in that bot path. I don't blame Exo for having a tough time with that lane. However,
I must say, I
think
Wigglytuff was definitely Liz's specialty.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. During this day, Liz was definitely one that I absolutely loved watching. On the Wigglytuff. So, and I mean, it makes sense. I think a fair few other teams have started picking up the Wigglytuff because of the amount of CC.
Yeah.
It's just the comps are so CC heavy, and having that Starlight Recital on hand to just give you the cleanse is so handy, especially like in the final stretch and everything. And I know Liz ended up pulling out some pretty well timed ones during the
Blastoise, it seems great, right? You just literally wait until they press their move and then you press yours. And they have like such a long cast time on Blastoise, like it's not like you need to react in any kind of huge big brain way. Like you're just playing around it. But Challenge obviously doing really well in this lane, already at like 8.5, just sticking in the bottom path the whole time. So big credit to them for having such a good Mew lane. But I mean, they're going into Goodra Wigglytuff, which I don't know how that last hits anything, to tell you the truth. Against Mew Slowbro, that's tough.
I think going into Worlds, we'll definitely see a lot of Challenge probably picking up Mew.
Yeah, sweet.
I have stats that I have here that Challenge ended up playing a total of Mew a total of 9 times and only Sylveon twice.
Oh, wow.
During the day. So I think I mean that's for like a lot of players though. I guess Mew's kit just is so versatile and everything like that. It kind of makes sense that you want to have that Pokemon on your team if you can. But for me, I know personally, I'm terrible at it. It's such a hard character to master, but
it is.
Honestly.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm excited to see Mew on World Stage. Like, it's one of my favorite Pokemon to watch because I do think the skill floor and ceiling are both extremely high on that Pokemon, which is a lot of fun when you get to watch literally the best players in the world play it. So I'm really excited to see that. That'll be awesome. I wonder how much Gudra we're gonna see. I've been like basically one-tricking this Pokemon in ranked this season, and I've been having fun with it, but teams were playing it even before it got its buffs, and it looks okay. Like, it doesn't look too bad.
Oh, honestly, the heal that Dragon Pulse can do. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh.
Well, especially into double defender comps, right? Because they're gonna be playing
Yeah.
so like close to get like tight knit. One Dragon Pulse will heal you back up to full,
Yeah.
no problem, if you're hitting multiple targets. So I think it is a really good defender into double defender. I think it's a good read. It's however. Sometimes it's kind of a selfish Pokemon, right? Like it's sort of just playing it for itself. You can try to time hooks well, but it doesn't always happen. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Man, Exo's literally securing everything. They've got every Reggie so far in this game.
Who's on the Gardevoir for Exo?
Ethos.
Yep.
Yeah, they're grooving.
Yeah, it checks
They are
out.
grooving.
Yeah, they're really
Holy.
good. Yeah, they've secured multiple Reggies now, top and bottom. Ooh, that's a tough power rip. Nice work. I'm just cheering for the Gudras now because of how much I played this Pokemon. No, yo, challenge is sick. You just got on a Spirit Shackle passive by coaching away from it. This is okay. I'm very excited for this damage duo of Challenged Ethos. That's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be really cool to watch.
They're moving really well. And Jeb is doing a great job screening too.
Mhm.
Obviously with the Surf Bro there. And, buying real estate for your Gardevoir and Mew. It's exactly what you want.
I do miss their old username, doobsnax, when they were Jeb password protect. I miss them.
That's true. With 9,000 characters.
Yeah, it was like Jeb, and then they
Good
just
Lord.
mashed their keyboard for 3 minutes, and then they found a username. I do miss it quite a bit. It probably has some meaning. I don't know. I don't feel like asking.
You can ask that at Worlds.
Exactly. Okay, so an extremely low-scoring game, which it makes sense. This is like a non-speedster game, right? Like Urshifu is the closest thing, and they're playing Wicked Blow, so like there's no one who can really split push that well. Which makes sense why having such a low-scoring game. Regieleki abandoned for this like defense on a bottom goal zone. I don't think EXO expected that. You have to use a few resources to get up, which basically just a eject button on Slowbro, so that's pretty good. It's such a low-scoring game, though.
Yeah, compared to the other one, which was
Mhm.
kind of in the 200 to 100-ish range.
Yeah.
Great rotation by LDR to kind of stymie that push all of a sudden and get
Mhm.
an advantage in the bottom path.
Yeah, and they had to do it the old-fashioned way, even though they had Hoopa, because that first-tier
Mhm.
goal zone was broken by EXO early, so they had to just rush down. Gotta see what you gotta do.
Yeah, sometimes you got to use those getaway sticks you got.
Mhm.
Start moving a little bit.
Getaway stick. Oh no, Liz!
Just eating all the power of the sunlight right there.
Yeah, a lot
Good
of
night.
beams in this, universe, to be fair. Okay,
True.
Regis Steel buff going into the final moments of this game for an Urshifu and Decidueye is genuinely very threatening. Like, that is a terrifying duo of Pokemon to have a damage buff on in these final moments. Obviously, Decidueye is not that stacked, but, like, in terms of attack weight stacked, but still, I would be concerned. I feel like I should turn on the audio to hear how Kel is casting this. I could, but then I don't know if this. I don't know if this. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if this video will get taken down off of YouTube if I do that. I'm not sure how that works. Kello, I'm sure you were killing it in the cast. Don't stress. But wow, look at these. I mean, these teams, like, this game is so different from game one. Well, I guess the final stretch is a little similar, but just like playing it so patient and so slow. Like, this is fine. Like, it's good macro to do this. However, it just means that once things finally actually do pop off, you just have less options after. Like, if you lose, you have so little time to work with after the fact, which is always a tough thing to play with.
Gudra being
let's say
nowhere
that-
near the team is suspect to me.
Yeah, what's going
I
on
guess
with
they're
that, Kello?
bullying the Blastoise.
Sorry, what's this?
What's
The
going on with the
Blastoise?
Gudra? I don't know.
Oh, the Gudra. I think they were probably going for a Batcat, maybe. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's just such a common thing to just leave things until right at the last minute. They see that 1 minute timer and it's like, oh, okay, it's time. It's
Uh-huh.
time to roll. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go.
Kind of thing.
Wiggly Sleep plus Hoopa Stun. That's a really good combo. They're
Ooh.
isolating.
Ooh, Starlight Recital out of the Fairy Singularity for the whole squad. That was kind of
Well,
sick.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, and what even got
They
it?
got it. Legends reappear. got it.
Urshifu. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I mean, literally, Urshifu. They have Urshifu Decidueye. You should rip. Like, that is correct. I think in that spot. They finally
Oh
did.
like that was. I mean, that was essentially Liz saving the entire team with from the fairy singularity, and then
Yeah, let's
Legends
look at that
reappear going,
again.
"Yeah, I guess we need to take this thing now." Like that's what we got.
Okay. Yeah, where does this fairy singularity happen? Now I need to see. I mean, they are literally all stacked up. Like that Ethos is probably just like rubbing their hands together maniacally.
Boom.
And then yep, yoink, it just gets them all out.
Yeah.
And then just absolutely buckles the Gardevoir.
Wait, oh my gosh. I think the Urshifu canceled Slowbro Unite too. Yeah, look, oh no, never mind. He hit Gardevoir. Yeah, he just they were just fine. He grabbed Gudra instead of Urshifu.
Gudra's like, I'm chilling. That's exactly where I want to be.
That's
and
yeah.
a KO streak of 3 for
tough.
the Hoopa? Come on, my hero.
That's tough. You slow beam Gudra, and that's a you know, not your intended target, I would have to say.
What?
Okay, so they tie it up. Good competitive game. We're going to see a lot more of those games if we were to move on to watch grand finals. We won't be tonight, but if you are doing your due diligence and your homework teams, these two teams play a lot of games.
A lot.
I must
Too
say,
many.
I do like the Liz Starlight recital save the team win the game strategy.
I'm a big fan as well, actually.
That is nice.
I will say. Also, Kelo, absolutely stunning in the Umbreon pin. I like it quite a bit. I guess you didn't know how broken it was at this point. That's fine. It's okay.
It wasn't even allowed to be played yet.
yeah, exactly. We don't have
Just
to worry
wearing
about
it on your lapel and summoning demons.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. May as well
want
put
chaos.
a pentagram on your jacket, but it's fine. Okay. Oh, we're gonna see so much Umbreon at Worlds, folks. We are gonna see so much Umbreon at Worlds. It's gonna be exciting.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. If yeah. Oh, okay. I do have context about their names. So Anonymous put it in the chat. It's because that's the name the game gave him after his name got banned, and this was before they started handing out player names, and he eventually just got known for that name. How do you get known for that name? Like,
what was somebody type in the chat what their name was? Jeb what to get
banned? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, don't get banned from our chat by doing it. I don't know if it's that egregious or not, but.
Well, yeah, you know.
All right. So again, EXO sticking with this Delphox ban. So obviously, EXO has the hard read on Legends Reappear. They think that Delphox is the key to their whole thing, and they're running with it game after game. Kelo, do you think that at Worlds EXO will be employing like similar? Like, do you think they will have a permaban for each team they play in their group? Let's say.
That's a lot of research.
Yes. However,
I mean,
reminder, they are playing for a $500,000 prize pool. Maybe this is the time to do your homework. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe, I guess, targeting their biggest threats.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like even then, you know, you only have that one ban, and I feel like a lot of players these days, especially the ones going to the Worlds, they have something in their back pockets
for sure.
You know.
Oh yeah.
You
I mean, one
to.
ban is pretty tough.
I think,
yeah.
You know, it just shows the respect, right? Actually, recognizing that Xavi is just out of this world Delphox. But
you just don't want to deal with. Okay, so the final two picks for LDR are Gardevoir, Sylveon, the two Pokemon that we've seen Ethos pop up with in 2 games in a row. So I really do like that play from LDR. They're like, listen, enough is enough. Grabbing those two. I like that a lot. Not running EXP share on this Sylveon, which I'm pretty sure challenged was. Don't quote me on that. But I thought they were for the move speed to invade with. So I don't know if we'll see another invade, because obviously it's in the hands of LDR this time, not EXO. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I hope we see a bunch of invades at Worlds, to be honest.
It's a really exciting
lot of little gentlemen
for sure.
Like a lot of little gentlemen invades.
Oh, that's one thing I am really curious if we get Amaterasu on broadcast, we will see Sableye. I guarantee it. But like, I wonder how many other teams have that as like a pocketed pick. Like, we haven't done a VOD review of Korea, but from what I know of that region and how they used to play like just perma invade with like Wiggly and Greedent in the past, like I have to imagine they play Sableye if their play strategy is like similar, you know, and just regional wise. So we'll have to see. But
I think having a Sableye player on your team is incredibly valuable, if only so you understand how to deal with a Sableye, right? Because if you naturally understand how to play with a Sableye, you understand at least kind of the decisions that are going into using that Pokemon, so you can adjust.
Yeah.
But like one thing people commonly forget in a close game is the knockoff that Sableye can take your money. So like people defending from a Sableye, but really just giving them change to score on you is one of my favorite interactions because it's so counterintuitive to how you play against every other Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. Also, shout out to the OCE crowd in chat. We got Joe, Sulu, Anonymous, and everybody hanging out. Thank you so much for watching our VOD review with us. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Well, let's not get it twisted. They're supporting Keller right now.
No.
Oh, come on. And that's why we got her on and why Ground Zero's sending us that paycheck, doobsnax. Come on. Stick with it. Hey, Unite Mike's actively looking for sponsorship. Gladly be Unite Mike's Exo Clan. But it's actually a lie. I don't know if we would. All right. Urshifu already at level 7. It's because they took their first clear Central, and now they're going to give it up to Ethos, right? I keep saying Ethos. It's Ethos, yes?
That's how I've been pronouncing it. I've been pronouncing it Ethos.
It's probably
Ethos. Like the word, right?
Now you've got me confused.
Okay, but like I'm pretty sure like if you said it Latin, it'd be Ethos, and if you said it Greek, it would be Ethos. Or maybe that's like reversed. Whatever.
Ethos it is. Ethos it is.
Great. And now that we've come down to the end of it, Ethos it is. That final Sturf stun on Heavy Slam is illegal. That's not fair. That's an unfair mechanic, and it should not work like that. I firmly believe that. Okay, last time we saw LDR play Blastoise, they were playing it Surfstoise, but it looks like this time they're playing Hydro Pump. So it seems like we've seen some kind of adaptation to try to play Rapid Spin. I guess since EXO is no longer playing Double Defender comps, they're like, all right, let's play something that'll get into the back line and turn and burn. That makes a lot of sense. Level 9 at 7 minutes for Urshifu is that's pretty good. That's pretty good, folks.
Strong. That is very
They tend
strong.
to secure objectives like this. Poor Jeb. their buddies just hanging out in the tall grass, just waiting.
Ooh, good engagement onto the Gardevoir to get that huge tons of damage. Nice, very singularity gobbling everybody up. Oh,
Yeah.
There's Zavi for you.
Yeah, a nice little play there. Their Slowbro comes right with the Chaos Streak at 2. Decidueye Unite only knocks out 1.
Nice reset on the Hoopa too. Man, these teams are kind of grooving.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of little 1v1s. Right? Like it's really tough when you have no Blastoise on the side of Legends reappear as like your main engagement tool, because Slowbro went down really early because they jumped on top of the Decidueye. So now all of a sudden it's just like 2 really long range damage dealers just throwing spells at each other, which is pretty fun to watch, to be fair.
True.
Not very often are there victors in those kind of scenarios, but they are fun.
A little bit of a advantage here for EXO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got the rock. They got the rock. Oh my gosh, there's so many stuns. Eldegoss, Blastoise, Slowbro, and they make it out. That's actually sick.
That was sick. The Unite move onto the portal to get out of the stun, deal tons of damage, and be safe.
Yeah. So you said that EXO's been playing together the entirety of the year, right, Kello?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Bemco's been on this team the whole time.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, they seem like a really solid support. They seem like really like in tune with what their like damage carries want to do. Like every single time they're like wants to be a portal underneath Urshifu, there is one. Like this. It's just like a really good timing.
I
I
guess
get them too.
that's the great thing about having comms. Did you know about? I mean, obviously, I know
Uh-oh.
LDR aren't actually going anymore, but did you know about, I guess, LDR's backstory in terms of their comms and everything?
Uh-oh. No.
No, so there's two players that have very limited English on their team, Zavi and Chichi. So,
Oh, interesting.
one of their players actually told me that sometimes they end up actually sitting in separate voice
No,
calls when they're
jeez.
playing. So they have the three English speakers, and then the other two, I think they speak Mandarin. I could be wrong.
Oh
Somebody
gosh,
might
yeah.
correct me there. But I think like sometimes they do end up getting together, and I think mainly most of the time the other two just listen in kind of thing. So
Mm.
I guess there's that language barrier there.
Ah.
And that's
Oh.
why I guess for me personally, I think that's why
Oh.
for a lot of people, why it just surprised a lot of us at how LDR managed to pull that off.
Mm.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, some skill diffs
Hmm.
in a couple of spots, I suppose. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That's just going down. This like double range comp from EXO is really cool to see. Mostly just because they played
Mm.
that like double defender, all brawl all the time style in the game previous. To like see them switch it up to like have challenge and ethos onto these like really extreme range characters and pop off with it is it's really cool. Like I'm really impressed with like EXO's like multitude of like compositions that they can
Mm.
play. That is really impressive. And that's a cool little combo. I love to see those.
Hoopa is such a fun character to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely going to see a whole lot of that Pokemon at Worlds. Well, actually, we're probably going to see that Pokemon banned a lot. It's up there for like probably the most banned Pokemon at Worlds.
It's
Mm.
really good. It's really, really good. It's actually like markedly worse against Mewtwo though, which is since Mewtwo is not legal, like Hoopa
Right.
is. Like with Mewtwo, you literally just need like insta heal as much as you can to try and hang out,
Just,
not
please,
like leave the
please,
fight,
no.
like not leave the fight and come back.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, that Pokemon. Oof.
Oh, that guy. Jeez, oh Pete.
Well, luckily not this Worlds. Okay. EXO earned themselves a huge lead, and they've given up barely anything. They have both their goal zones, so very easy defensible goal zones, which is a really tough spot for LDR to be in. But that's just what Hoopa gives you. Really good macro defense on goals. That's why you invest in a Pokemon like that. But positioning, they have like none of. Well, and now LDR just gave it all up. That's unfortunate.
ExoClan doing much better insulating their goal zones this game than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I know they managed to win that first one, but man, the Hoopa was made almost instantly useless at like the 5-minute mark. Nice pick.
Yeah, that's a fully stacked Decidueye. Definitely yes. A lot better about a lot better of damage scaling for this time on this Decidueye than last time we saw. But Solar Beam combo.
Like how bold Zavi is, just trying to bait someone out so they can collapse on top of them.
There's no Slowbro here. Please come get me. I promise, Jeff. I promise Liz is not in this bush. I promise. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? You're trying to bait them out, but Challenged and Ethos can just poke you. They don't need to get this rank. They have such a huge lead. And they have Urshifu for like last minute secure. So they can literally just keep poking and like biding their time. That being said, big Sylveon engage makes this a little bit tougher for Jeb. Let's get away. Oh, Decidueye.
Forcing out the Decidueye Unite is huge there, because that's not hitting anybody.
You know. So now they like, well, man, there we go.
Yeah, they found some bodies on that one.
Ethos with 3? Is this the Ethos Penta? I've been waiting. That's 4? Hit the last one. Get him. Get him. No, Ethos, come on. All right, we'll take it. We'll take it. It would have been so much cooler if you didn't miss, but I definitely think the Penta's worth celebrating. Okay, very cool. And Exo win this one. We jumped to the end of that. Oh my gosh, Ethos with 122 on the Decidueye this game. Sheesh. Kella, did you know this was happening? Is that why you're quiet in this final fight? You're like, I need to let them see the Penta. Is that what it is?
It was such a good one. Oh, so hype.
Yeah, that is sick. Yes.
You
Oh,
can really
good.
see.
I'm glad Jeb is in the chat so I can see their original wild username.
How would you pronounce that if you had to actually full on pronounce
Jeb
it?
4EDR 6NEM. Oh my
I,
gosh.
I like Jeb password protect.
Yeah, that was
That's
the
what- that's
best
what-
creation we ever came up with when casting this team in a tournament. I liked it a lot. Hoo-wee. Okay. All right. EXO definitely impressing me. I mean, full disclosure for anyone who hasn't watched the entire VOD, EXO does go on to lose in the grand finals against Legends Reappear, who have a really, really sick rally back in the other direction. But this game was really cool. I think we got to see a lot of what makes EXO tick. Ethos, really impressive. Anything else that was like really standing out to you, doobsnax, while we were watching those games?
Just this one right here that we're looking on screen. Bemco's ability to reset themselves and Jeb specifically, and no one else interested in portals. Is pretty much what I'm seeing here on the screen. Right? Like no one else cared about getting back to base.
Challenge with that mean 595 recovery, probably because they used coaching one time. I have to imagine.
But hey, it worked into their strategy, right? Building a lot of range is important for them to stay up front and cause gaps in space and, resetting Buster when necessary. But the rest of the time is focusing on Jeb to make sure they're staying up front. I like it.
Yeah. Sulu saying the Jeb was kind of the MVP of this matchup on the Snorlax. Yeah, I think they were really good. Especially game number 1. Game number 1, Jeb was popping off. That was definitely true. I think that was a big one. Kelo, how about you? Anything else about ExoClan that we got to see now that you've seen this a second time, this time not live? You're able to take a bit of a step back. Anything that you're excited about ExoClan, you think that like they're really going to bring to the world stage?
I'm hoping they'll be able to keep up with the other teams and everything.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Come
obviously,
on, OC, you can
oh
throw
yeah,
some
for sure.
punches.
I know they will, but I know, seeing that group stage,
it's not
we
easy.
hope and we
that
pray
is true.
they end up getting to top 8. And obviously, there's only the one group that actually makes it to the top 8. But I'm pretty certain they've been buckling down and they've been practicing up and doing their research. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, that prize pool.
There's a lot of money.
Yeah,
There's a lot of money on the line.
So definitely, I'm excited. I'm excited that the world will be able to see OCE and hopefully iClan and EXO are able to just put in a good light for us.
Yeah.
We're usually the forgotten region.
Oh my gosh, you were not the forgotten region. We're still here. We took away your E, but otherwise you're still there, okay? Yeah, I'm excited for EXO. I think Ethos and Challenge specifically just as a damage duo are really, really exciting to me. Like they seem to me like they could keep up with some like really good teams in the global stage. So that is gonna be cool. And Jeb looks sick on that Snorlax too. Especially when they got Snorlax. I mean, the Slowbro was really solid too. They did grab a Goodra, so let's not forget that. That's the one slight against them. But if they just clean that part of their game up, I think they're going far, All right. Well, cool. I think we're like close to finishing up unless doobsnax or Kella, you had any final thoughts before we wanted to close this out.
Kello, I just wanted to ask you, do you have the inside scoop of iClan's preparedness? I saw somebody put in chat that one of their players literally hasn't opened the game in a year.
I think that's a copy pasta from last year, but I could be wrong.
I mean, Joe's here. I don't know if he's actually, yeah. I don't know how much I can say. Obviously, I want to be respectful of the team. So I mean, if Joe gives me the all good, then there we go. Somebody's already said it. Joe's not going. So because Joe is not going, obviously this year they had the 4 EXO members there that they had last year, which were Untamed, Shep, Puffs, and Frith. And Joe actually replaced Pengu, who played for them last year. So Pengu was going as a sub for this year, but unfortunately because Joe can't go now, I believe Pengu. So pretty much it's the OG iClan team from last year. So,
Okay, not a
I must
copy
say,
pasta
I'm
though.
pretty
Okay.
heartbroken about that. I know Joe has a lot of fans in the
Mhm.
OC region, me being one of them as well. So, but it's Iceland, they get to run it back 2.0.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know about the whole. I don't know. Maybe it could be Pengu, the one that didn't actually open the game, considering
From
they weren't
chat,
actually
it looks like
playing
that might be true.
in.
So
Mm,
we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a tough
but
road, but sometimes the screw it, we do it live energy is strong and it plays up at Worlds. So
yeah.
we'll have to see that. That could be some. But doobsnax, what are your vibes on the iClan squad going into Worlds?
I mean, they definitely had one of the best stories of season one, just as a collective, as a group out of I think one thing OC does have is if every continues to sell them low, they have the opportunity to stonks through the roof, right? That's just kind of
Yeah.
how that works. So, Iceland really shook stuff up last year and really made people sweat that didn't think they'd had to sweat against a team like
Mm-hmm.
Iceland. So I'm really hoping that OC harnesses and brings that same energy again, because you can't deny it either way. Iceland had some of the most exciting matches of the entire tournament last year. So
Oh,
I hope
absolutely.
OC, EXO, and Iceland as a collective are geared up, ready to go, and can bring that magic back. That's what I hope.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I hope too. I think there's going to be some really exciting moments from OCE. I mean, group stage is going to be crazy. Like, there is going to be so many good teams eliminated in day number one. Honestly, every region at this point is
Mhm.
crossing their fingers, hoping that their teams make it the top 8 bracket. It is not any one
Right.
specific region, right? Like, all these groups are very difficult. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting. But I think that's where we're going to wrap up our VOD review. Thank you so much to the two of you for joining in on this one. Doobsnax, any quick plugs that you want to throw out for people listening right now?
Unite Mics on Twitter. That's it.
Cool. Hey, for however long that website stays afloat, that'll be where you can find it. Kelo, how about you?
Kelosaurus on Twitch, and otherwise all other socials is Kelosaurus TTV.
Perfect. You can find me at Zoinks on Twitter, but more importantly, Twitter is going to be at Unite Mics and youtube.com/Unite Mics if you want to see all these other VOD reviews that we've done and posted live there, or if you want to catch them live, twitch.tv/Unite Mics as well. Speaking of which, we have a few announcements for what we're going to be doing live on Twitch for the next couple of days. So tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be our big Worlds pre-show Overdunk episode. So our typical podcast, but of course, we're going to be talking all about Worlds, the groups, our predictions, like lots of things that are going to be there. That's going to be at the same time as we started tonight. So 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be live going in our big pre-show. It might be a bit of a longer episode. Who knows? It's going to be crazy. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be reviewing Latin America North with a couple of players from Entity 7. So I already see some people talking about, I see Sulu talking about E7 in chat already. I'm pretty high on that team as well. So a couple of members from that team are going to be joining us as we discuss a Latin America North, which is going to be really cool. I can't wait for that. So an exciting week, obviously. And then the following week after that is the freaking World Championships. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. It's a very exciting time for Competitive Unite, and I hope you all are excited as well. So until next time, which is literally tomorrow, we'll catch you all later. Bye, everybody.